Alright, so in this next video, let's get into some more advanced blueprint scripting, and let's try and make a flashlight for our character. So we press a key, turns on a light on the character, then we can turn it off again. So let's start by making some shade in our level. So let's grab this floor, and I'm going to hold Alt and drag it up to make a copy, press R to open our transform gizmo, scale it back, and move it here to make a sort of an overhang, sorry. A bit thinner. Perfect. Let's start populating this just with some interest so that we can shine our flashlight on a couple objects. So let's put maybe a cube here, make a duplicate, sphere in there, and while we're at it, maybe let's go to our starter content, which is a default Unreal object, and let's grab a chair, place that there. Yeah, little bench here, and why not, while we're at it, let's add a lamp to the wall. Now that's looking a bit small, so I might just scale it up to double the size, and let's actually put a light in there while we're at it. On the left here, let's go to lights and point light. Let's drag it straight on top, and it's looking alright. Maybe let's have it out a little bit so it's not so much of a harsh shadow, and let's maybe change that to more of a warm color. Nice. And let's turn that down a little bit just so it's a nice subtle little light. Alright, one more thing, let's add a spotlight over here on the ceiling. Let's change that to a nice red color. Just to affect those objects a bit more. And nice and soft. That should do actually. Cool, so now I've got this overhang. Let's just build while we're at it, just to get these shadows not as previews but as proper baked in lighting. Shouldn't take too long in this early stages of our project. Later on it is sort of something you need to sit and wait for a while. But for now, this is looking really good. We've got a nice dark corner here with some soft red lighting on it. This is just a preview here. If we press G to get our in-game view, you'll see what the actual level looks like without all this rubbish over it. You can see we've got some nice reflections off this chair here. This is a good starting point. So let me go into our character blueprint. So once again, if you've lost how to find it, I've got it open here, but you can click on our character, edit blueprint, open blueprint editor, and let's add a light to our character. So let's add in the top left here, add component, and let's type in spotlight. Perfect. Now we can see the spotlight is facing the wrong way, but that's okay. Let's just press E on our keyboard and rotate that 90 degrees. And we just make sure we've got snapping turned on, otherwise we'll get unprecise angles. But it should be on by default. Perfect. Let's now switch to our transform gizmo, and let's put it maybe in front of the character like that. Now let's see what this looks like in this default state. Let's just see how bright this light is. That's not bad. It's looking alright there. Maybe what we'll do is let's just make this once again a bit of a warmer light. Something like that should do. And let's adjust this this cone here. So we've currently got quite a harsh light where once it's on the wall, it's sort of like just a circle. So what we'll do is adjust our inner cone angle like this. Let's add a bit more radius to make it go further. And while we're at it, let's just up the intensity just by 1/5, like that. So now you can see we've got an inner sort of strong light source, and then we've got these sort of outer soft edges. So it's a bit more realistic. Cool, so it's now following our character. Awesome. Now let's set this to be activated by a key press. So what we'll first of all do is turn off our light. So if we uncheck visible and make sure that's working, you can see in the level that light is not visible. And what we'll do is go into our event graph, And under our sprint, let's right click and go for a F key keyboard event. And when we press the F key, what we want to do is if we control drag this spotlight and drag off it set visibility, and we want it to be visible when we press F. Perfect, so we press F, it's now visible. Now how do we turn it off? Because obviously we don't want it to be when you press and release it, it changes the visibility. That seems a bit counterintuitive or annoying for a player. So what we're going to do is add something called a flip-flop, which is basically just, if we type in flip-flop here, it's basically just when we press the F key, the first time it's going to do A, and the next time you press it, it's going to do B, and so on. So let's make a copy of that. We can leave it like this, or if you want to make it a bit neater, we can delete that, and it's the same spotlight. We don't really need two separate references. And for the second flip-flop, we'll set the visibility to false. So once again, let's select all this, press C on our keyboard for a comment, and let's type flashlight mechanic. Compile and save, and let's see how that's looking. Press F to turn it on, F to turn it off, and you can see that's working quite nicely.